Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to episode 20 of Into the Nexus, the Heroes of the Storm podcast. I'm Garrett Weinzerl, and I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Kyle Ferguson. Kyle, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. There's so much to be back for.
There is. What the week. What the week, sir. And Blizzard couldn't have picked a worse time.
because a certain game came out.
Yes, a certain game that may or may not have been the reason that I purchased the next-gen console also dropped Tuesday with a massive Heroes patch, which means that I get to play the role of Question Man on today's episode of Into the Nexus.
Sweet, then I'll be Marathon Boy, who played a ton yesterday. Thank you to Disco and Viper for the fine marathon last night, Kristen and her brother as well for the one before that. It was a heroes-packed day, and I was more than happy to wake up and see, various tweeted screenshots of me looking particularly badass on the damage meters.
Nice. Man, I haven't played Heroes with Disco in forever. I got some Diablo in with him recently. Been in there leveling up my wizard.
He is in my neck of the woods now, so it's kind of your 3 a.m. when we play games.
Ah, that would make sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I catch him. Thing.
We both play Diablo on our lunch break, and I take a really late lunch in Eastern time. Apparently, he takes a super early Western time lunch, so it syncs up perfectly.
Nice.
So yeah, getting in there, play some D3. It's good stuff. Really loving my wizard, but we're not here to talk about Diablo.
No, or that other game.
We're here to talk about... Oh, okay. All right. Then I won't make that joke. I'll just stop. Yeah, it's a big week. So I'm done talking to you. Let's get into it then.
We're on, boys! Ha ha! Let's liven up this place!
Can Stitches play now? Point me to the stage.
Yes, it is a new week. There's a massive patch that has dropped on Tuesday, and we've got a new hero, Chen Stout, who we'll be talking about in a bit. But let's just dive in, Kyle, because this patch is large.
Yes.
And in charge.
And pretty. There's a lot of nice changes in here.
Yeah, indeed. First up on the changes is just art in big, bold words, and you're going to see my ears perk up and get happy anytime I hear about that. We're getting tons of new animations, dances, victories, taunts, etc. added to many, many heroes. We got some physics improvements, facial animations for Nova and Chen. I don't know why they put Chen in here. He was just added. I would assume he would have facial animation, but nonetheless, they decided to let us know that. But really, of all the changes, I mean, we've got battleground changes. We've got new heroes being added. The thing I'm most excited for is that my Blood Elf Tyrande skin looks even more badass now.
Yeah, it does look good.
That is the most important thing.
Still, the 80s hair and the very obvious butt shot when you select her is a bit of a turnoff for me. No, I'm sorry, I'm not ready for step class at the moment.
Butt shot?
Oh, yeah, she turns right sideways, and she's wearing nothing but a tunic.
Oh, okay. I'm like, she doesn't turn backwards, but I guess you're right. You can kind of see the side view. Okay, all right, I'll let that slide. But I don't know, I'm a big Tyrande fan, so... I'm biased.
Well, yeah, we'll be talking about her later in the week. I was playing quite a bit of her this week as well.
Yeah. Also, let's see, some of the general changes. The health regeneration has been removed from the core, but the shield regeneration is unchanged, so your core will not be regenerating health, but don't worry, that shield is still there, working the same as it always has. As well as Siege Giants. They apparently had health regeneration, which I was not aware of.
Apparently, but then again, it's after 8 seconds out of combat, and who engages a siege giant and then says, you know what, I'm just gonna let this guy go for a bit.
That's a really good point. Yeah, they had health regeneration. It's now gone.
Speaking of the art, before we move too far, have you had the infinite pleasure of dying yet?
Dying or losing a game?
No, just dying, because the screen breaks and the whole screen shatters and explodes, and there's little hexes all over the sides sparking, and it's an affair.
Is that for dying? I thought that was for losing a game.
No, it does a whole production now when you die.
I guess I didn't notice. I've died plenty. I've been learning Chen this week, so I've died plenty, but I guess it just didn't. Wow, okay, it didn't strike me. I'm surprised.
Too busy seeing red to see the screen.
That's a very good point. That's probably why I died. But okay, when we play after tonight for the after show, I'll have to I'll have to make a point to die at least once and actually pay attention.
Well, of course, you're too skilled to have ever seen this new animation.
That's the story I should have stuck to. But
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I have died. I just haven't noticed.
Yeah, I was in the unfortunate game where our Diablo was a computer, and he was very animate on pushing the top lane when no one was up there. So I died a lot last night.
Damn it, AI Diablo. Damn you. But I think some of the biggest changes to talk about are the battleground changes. Because Garden of Terror and Haunted Mines have been more or less, upset. Starting with Garden of Terror, the terror itself is completely different now, and I'm anxious to hear what you have to say about it, Kyle. Because the way it works now is that once you get your 100 seeds, the fertile soil, which is where we used to run to hand in 100 seeds to spawn your terror, just automatically starts growing into a terror after 15 seconds. And then once it's spawned, a 1-minute countdown timer begins, and right-clicking the terror gives you control of it. And you have to do that before that 1-minute timer expires, or you just lose your terror and you lose that 100 seeds.
Yeah. So I assumed these were just kind of tweaks before diving in last night, and all of a sudden the terror has a timer. It's popping up on its own. It's growing out, but then it just sits there waiting for someone to ride it. It was certainly a change. So now I'm not sure what the strategy is going to be here. Are you going to avoid getting that last, 99 seeds and avoid getting that last one to the perfect moment? Or are they more assuming that it's so good that you would want to ride it immediately anyway, which they've made some changes to the actual terror himself. He has a whole new ability.
Yeah, he does. But what do you think of this change overall? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
It makes the objective on the map active. In the past, nightfall would come and people would stay in their lanes. It was probably the most lane stage map that we had because no one really cared to get in there. One, because when you start attacking the terrors that are, hidden out in the woods to get the seeds, it's immediately visible on the map. So everyone knows where the team is, who's hitting what. And so, they immediately go to engage that. You would sit on top of 200 seeds sometimes by the end of the game, not really sure when to use it and what the purpose of pushing with it at any certain time was.
Yeah, I like this change for that very reason. This of all the battlegrounds had the least urgent objective.
Well, as I talked about last week, it was being used defensively too.
Yeah.
If your whole team would die, then you would get up in it and you'd be able to polymorph and defend the base.
Yeah, which is the thing I think I'm going to miss the most. Is I thought it was cool that you could use it defensively. Yeah, every now and then you see a defensive Dragonite, but it's real weird and awkward. But the fact that they could be beating down your door, you could have banked seeds and just be like, well, it's now or never, and you just jump in this thing and start throwing down. I thought that was really cool. But overall, I think I like this change better because I have had 45-minute games on this damn map. Because no one gave a crap about the terror.
I think that's 100% what it's about. No one gave a crap. There was no urgency. And if there was a push coming to your base that could very well end it in a reasonable amount of time, you could just spend your seeds and keep it going even longer.
Yep. Yeah, it was real turtley.
Yeah.
Very, very turtley map with that mechanic. So I like it as is. But yeah, let's talk about the changes because Spore Queen's Curse got a change. It has a larger radius. It went from 2.5 to 3, and the curse is now a persistent effect, which continues to pulse once per second for 3 seconds. So that's good. Radius increase, I like that.
Yeah, so this is the thing that turns the enemies into potted plants. They can only use their basic attacks, and like a healing spell can get out of it. But for the most part, you're useless, and you do almost no damage. So now you're turning a lot more people into it. It's a lot more dangerous. You get slapped by the terror. It's about 600 damage, so moving slower, not being able to defend yourself, it's a big deal.
Yeah. Also, the overgrowth, the Garden Terror overgrowth, had a significant health increase. It's went from 960 plus 55 health per minute to 1250 plus 80 health per minute. So it's going to be a lot harder to kill that plant that's choking the life out of all of your buildings.
Right, again, making the game go a bit faster. When this thing gets up, you take down buildings.
Yeah, I like this this focus on speed of games.
Yeah.
I like that direction. And then there's the new ability, which is very literal, addressing speed. It's sprint. It's bound to the E hotkey. And
whoa, sprint. Are you sure you don't want, like, a potted plant reactor or something like that? They'll change it.
Yeah. But it increases the garden terror's movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds. I'm glad they added this because I always thought it, took, because you're coming from your base. This thing takes a while to get somewhere. And now you can actually push the top lanes or, push a lane that's not the mid, because that time was just so long. You're in a timer in the first place when you get in, so you didn't want to waste any precious time. And then also, this is great for killing heroes. Getting guys who are running away. You have the health pool to dive. Yeah, absolutely. I just anything to get the terror down the line faster. Make it less obvious. Just like, oh, here it comes. Everyone gets to the bottom lane in 5 minutes. We'll defend this.
So I'm still curious to know how this is going to evolve. When I played my games last night, of course, we were all just confused. So I don't feel like I felt what the new rhythm is supposed to be. If you are supposed to just kind of go immediately for the seeds at night, this thing is extremely powerful. And I think we're going to find that out real quick, how powerful pushing with the Garden Terror is. And you're going to want it every single time it turns to night. Otherwise, they're going to have to tweak it, because we'll just say, well, let's leave a couple seeds laying around, or we'll let the team get 30 and we'll get 70, and we'll just wait till a decent time to use it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you're overall happy with it? All these changes on Garden of Terror?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
40-minute games, it's not what this game is about.
I was about to say, I've got my 42 to 90-minute game MOBA already.
Yeah.
I'm okay. We don't need that here. Haunted Mines, which I unfortunately have yet to see in my rotation, as much as I have wanted to play the new version of this, has also gotten a ton of changes.
Boy, did it ever. Oh, my goodness. I've never felt so much like Gandalf sitting in the Mines of Moria.
Oh, really?
Just getting there and smelling the wind and having no memory of this place. And if anything, I was playing with Kristen's brother last night, and he was rocking. I mean, he's an old Dota player, so he was all about Arthas, knew how to tank, knew how to be aggressive, and he was just plowing through this entire map, doing better than anyone because he'd never played on the map yet, where the rest of us are all going, wait, the Mercs are... Where are they? And then we head down the mines, and it's completely different.
Yeah. I'm looking at the maps over on the official Heroes of the Storm site that we talked about last week, which for this episode, so helpful, damn helpful. The mines are completely. What am I looking at? Where is the golem?
The golem is there on the right, so it is. There is no more back around the golem area. There's no two ways to access it, and it's much wider open.
Ooh, okay.
In fact, the golem, while you're wailing on him, now drops skulls periodically, much like the seeds do.
Oh, okay. All right.
So he still, unleashes his main load when he dies.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for unleashing that main load.
Yeah, you sure do.
So
There's also less camps. They're more condensed, and the escapes are actually kind of mid-map, so you're not quite as stuck when you get surprised down here.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that one, but now that you mention it, you're right. It's not quite middle. They're still left biased, but there's 3 skeleton camps to the left of them now, to the left of the exits or entrances, depending on how you look at it, I guess.
Right, which divides it up nicely. In the old version, you'd be going for the golem, which was way on the other side. And if suddenly the whole team came down there, you either had to hide your ass and pour it out, or hope that they wouldn't get you, because it is a long walk back. Now things are a lot more open. You have a couple avenues of escape, and you'll probably survive, at least 1 or 2 of you, through these more open areas.
Yep. Now let's talk about not the mines, the main map, because the mercenaries have been severely cut down. Used to be 5 mercenary camps on Haunted Mines. There are now 3. We have 2 siege giants and one knight's center, right in this dead center of the map. Yeah. This is I think this is going to make this again just a more aggressive play style for this map, because before there was always that choice to make. Do we go for mines or do we grab 5 merc camps?
Right, and that was the problem with it, is you're playing a game that's based on objectives, and if you're diving into this game for the first time, you've watched all the Blizzard videos, every interview, all they talk about is objectives and how important they are. So your whole team dives into the mine, and you're getting every skull, and it pops up, and it's puny. And you're being besieged by, 6 giants and a camp of knights? It was insane. Now also they've all made the map more symmetrical. So the watchtowers actually cover both the knights and the giants, and it lets it be a little more strategic holding those locations, while also not meaning that the left side of the map has theirs a little lower down and the right side's a little higher up. It was just kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really hoping we get this damn map in our after show game tonight, because I've had no luck, man. I got Blackheart's Bay like 3 times in a row. I'm like, this map had no changes. What the hell's going on?
I know. Last night, again, when we were playing these, we're like, because I didn't read these notes yet, so I'm going, oh man, I can't wait for Blackheart's Bay. Nothing. No change.
Nope. Still my least favorite map by a landslide victory. Huzzah.
They've even added some weird little rocks and extra grass areas, which were a blast for me because I was playing Nazebo. So lots of people exploring new places to hide felt the wrath of getting stuck in the zombies.
Yeah. Nice. There's some general talent changes. I mean, a lot of them, they're not really super interesting to talk about. Like Cleanse got a range increase. Healing Ward does more healing now, which I'm actually really excited about that, because I always liked Healing Ward and I thought it had potential. But, you know, now it gives you more of a reason to actually want to spec into it.
Sure.
Same with Promote. Got a massive health bonus increase.
Yeah, from 200% to 300%.
Yep.
I still don't see a lot of Promote.
No, and I still don't think you're gonna. Like, I don't know.
It's just not a strong early game choice, particularly because it affects the catapults, which come out late game. Whenever you destroy enemy forts, you spawn more units, particularly these catapults, that then, you know, go along with the minions to the enemy base.
Yeah.
And if you pump one of those up with a Knight's Promote, you're going to get some damage done, and that health means a lot. But just grabbing a little extra on a Knight or an Archer doesn't get too much done.
Yeah. And I'm excited for Storm Shield, because the search radius has been increased by a factor of 2. From 5 up to 8, and I like me some Storm Shield. So
yeah, it's really good in some situations. I like getting it on Diablo when we don't have healers.
Yeah, absolutely. So and of course there's always, you know, too many hero changes for us to really go into one by one. So Kyle, as usual, you've kind of just for shortness sake, Nova and Tyrande got buffed, Gazlo, Malfurion, and Tyrael got nerfed. Lots of reworks. And then Murky got an overhaul again.
Yep, big ol' overhaul, and he is once again the bastard he used to be. Not quite on the pushing front, more now on the damage front. His slime has been turned from the poison damage that it used to do. He'd, you know, use his bubble, right, roll over, all invincible, like pop his poison, do quite a bit of damage. But if you had a healer around, nothing really happened to you. And if you had no healers around, you were going to die before you ran away, and it was awful. So now the slime does a set amount of damage and increases the damage of further successful slimes.
Wow, so you can stack your slime.
Exactly.
Oh,
so you run over, you poop, and then if you have your egg close by, and I feel like this is really the thing they're aiming for, and I like that about it, is you put your egg forward, now you can get back to that hero in time before your slime wears off, and you can do it again for 250% increased damage. And then you do it again. And again. And granted, someone's probably going to find the egg. But it gets real, well, hurtful.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's some scary stuff. Freaking
The pufferfish also got its explosion timer reduced by 1 second, and you need 2 people to take that out now. You're not doing... It didn't get the buff back about damage on buildings. You know, still a group mechanic. Still, you know, sucks to see it go off on 2 towers and a wall, but it's not the worst thing on earth. But, you know, auto attacks are not going to be enough to stop this off of 1 hero.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I haven't seen Murky's played this week, and I haven't played him. As you know, I'm not the biggest Murky fan in the world. But
yeah, he's just frustrating for me. I come from, you know, Dota, and I'm used to very targeted abilities where you click the ability and then you click the hero and you shoot off the bolt that stuns them. Whereas Heroes is very much a lot of skill shots, which if you have a Murky charging at you and he pops his bubble, your clicking ability, it wouldn't work. You don't even waste it. But with a skill shot, it shoots right through him and it can get real frustrating.
Yep.
They also buffed Octograb, which everyone loves getting hit by. Reduce the cooldown by 10 seconds.
I'm walking away. Can we stop talking about Murky now?
Yeah, we'll just move on here.
All right, good.
But
good.
he's back. He was useless before, and now he's a good choice again.
All right, fair enough. I thought he was pretty decent before anyway. His poison builds were pretty highly functional, but all right.
Right, well, I guess you could even say that it is a nerf in that way because his poison build was so functional that there was no reason to keep your egg anywhere close because as soon as you got in, you do that poison damage, people would run away and they'd die. Now at least there's a reason to get risky with your eggs, and they've added some extra talents in there, like one that gives additional sight around your egg to make it, a safer investment, but still have that forward-pushing play.
Yeah. Okay. Can we talk about? Can we talk about Chen now? I really want to talk about Chen.
Oh, there's so many changes, though. They're so great. All these reworks. I mean, Kerrigan. It looks like a nerf, but they made one of her talents just passive. It used to be you had to pick a talent that whenever you killed a hero with your leap, you then got a refresh on it. Now it's just standard, which I really think helps Kerrigan's mood. You had this leap on you, and she's not a tanky hero, so people were leaping in and then dying immediately.
Really?
Now
I don't see that in here at all.
It's not. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this, even those, the extra rocks and haunted mines, like, these talent changes could have been twice as long. There's a bunch of little hidden ones all throughout.
Oh, so that is a change that has happened, but it's not listed in the notes here.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm reading this right now. It says Impale and Primal Grasp, and that's it.
Yeah,
okay.
So now, you jump on a guy who's about to die, boom, refreshes. Jump to the next guy, boom, kill him next. And you can just leap around like a badass. And it immediately communicates what you're supposed to be doing with that ability in the first place. And you want to move on before talking about hammer nerf? Like, let's spend some time on that and celebrate.
Yeah.
We got the hover is now a level 16 talent instead of 7.
For hammer?
Yeah.
Wow.
And also at level 16 is when you pick graduating range, so you now have to make the choice.
Oh,
which is phenomenal.
Nerfed.
Before, if you're not familiar with it, level 7, Hammer picks an ability where her siege mode can now move at 50% speed and float across the map. Then at level 16, you would get an ability where the longer you spent time in siege mode, the bigger your radius of attack would get.
Yeah, to an absurd degree. Wow, they broke the nerf bat off.
So if you are chasing someone at 50%, but then your radius, your attack range is increasing every few seconds, you're basically chasing them at full speed and keeping them at maximum range.
Yep.
It was painful, and now it's a lot better.
Yeah.
A Sergeant Hammer having to sit around to level 16 before getting that hover, I think we'll see other builds because you're going to need to learn how to play it with a correct siege mode now rather than the hang on, like almost the Abathur strategy where you go, it's okay, guys, I'm not 10 yet. It's okay, I'm not 10 yet. Okay, now we can win.
Yeah, that's rough. Oh, man, I have no idea how I'm going to play her now.
Stitches got his sprint taken away, which I think everyone is happy about.
I'm very okay with that.
Yeah, so they actually mix the sprint into Putrid Bile. This is the one where he leaves the long poop trail behind him. So he now moves faster while doing that, which is good. You cover more area, you disease more ground, but you're never again going to be dashed off with him in your stomach.
Okay, yeah. That's really good. That's good. Still, I'm Putrid Bile with that speed increase. That's going to be some scary stuff.
And Sonya, Whirlwind Change seems like a buff, but there's now a cooldown on it, so you can no longer constantly spin if you're into that sort of thing.
Okay, gotcha. I like Sonya. I think she's moving towards a good solid build.
I like her too. You can really do a heavy damage warrior build with her, and that hasn't changed at all. It was only changes to her whirlwind, making it so you, again, couldn't constantly spin and gain that extra movement attack. Zagara got her Nidus Worm infinite range, so you can cast it anywhere on the map rather than having to walk your slow ass over to it. And some creep tumor changes, working in some talents that were beneficial, just into passives.
Good.
And Uther, Divine Shield, now when you cast on someone else, cast it on you as well, but no longer heals.
I'm okay with that. I like that.
2 people Divine Shield, it's pretty nice. I don't think it's going to be taken away from people, straight up stunning everybody.
There should be a talent where when you're Divine Shielded, it speeds up the cast time of your Hearthstone.
I agree 100%. That should be the level 20.
Exactly. Just, bye, guys. This is going south. I'm leaving. And then your whole
Those
team...
are the big ones, though. We got a lot of changes to a lot of heroes, but those are going to be your biggest one. And a lot of these, I mean, if we didn't mention your hero, basically one thing got increased, one thing got diminished. They kept it pretty even for balance sake.
Yeah. Looks like Hammer got maybe the hardest nerf.
Sure, and was in need of it.
Yeah, just, I mean, compared to how she used to be played. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to play her now, but it'd be interesting to figure it out.
To destroy in the chat room, should I go Nidus now with Zagara? Oh, man. The Maw is... At first, you think, well, this thing does nothing. It does no damage. Everyone pops out. No problem. No one dies. But you did remove them from the fight, and if you're good at that sort of thing and grabbing a couple people out and just completely CCing them, it's going to win fights, and Nidus, it's not always going to help you out so much.
Yeah, my Maw is my go-to at the moment. When Zagara first came out, I was all about the Nidus Worm. I loved it.
Right,
But,
and that's absolutely right. Team fights. This game is about team fights. It's not about you being this mad hero carry and being able to be where you need to be at the exact moment. It helps, but team fights are always going to win out.
Teamwork wins you games. All right, let's talk about Chen, because Chen is finally out. We've talked about his previews week after week after week. We more or less knew what his kit was like, but neither of us really had a chance to play him. And of the 3 new heroes that we know are coming, Chen, Asmodan, and Anubarak, he was by far the guy I was least excited about. I'm just like, man, I'm sick of Pandas. Pandaria is the old expansion. Now I'm ready for Warlords. I've never really done the Pandarians in the first place. Can we just stop it with the Pandas? Also, death to Lili.
Sure, and when you're dealing with, collect call Asmodan and Anubarak, who's a complete badass and shows up in Frozen Throne right when you need him, versus available in the special unlockable tower defense level of Warcraft 3 and the weird half World of Warcraft Duratar missions, Panda? How did this character get such a limelight?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's kind of the star of the most recent MMO expansion, but
sure,
which is
does he have
a bit of a big
his
thing.
Daughter or his cousin?
His niece, I believe.
Niece, okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's his niece. I think she calls him uncle, but
right.
What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, I'm surprised to find that I thoroughly enjoy the hell out of Chen. He is very fun to play.
Yeah.
And honestly, he should be. Because why in God's name, Kyle, is he 15,000 gold?
I do not know. And that was my biggest surprise, too. Because I'm sitting on 35,000 gold right now.
That's a big chunk.
Right. So I'm thinking, I'll just kind of get whatever heroes come out. It's not a big deal. But this is more expensive than Kerrigan, who was topped at 10,000. And we had Abathur as well at 10,000. No one has been 15,000 gold yet.
No. And the thing I don't get is his dollar price is not different than the other maximum amount that heroes are. He's $10, which is the most expensive hero that currently exists. So why are all the other $10 heroes 10,000 gold and Chen is $10 or 15,000 gold? I don't get that.
My best guess is that with a limited player pool at the moment, they didn't want so many people playing Chen that it would clog the system. because you can only have one per team. So this is oddly a deterrent for people to play him casually, which I guess helps them out in their metrics because they'll only see those people who are really into Chen and wanting to explore his abilities showing up in their numbers.
Okay. I don't know. I just thought it was weird. That makes sense, though.
Yeah, that's the best thing I can come up with. I know League of Legends does a similar system. When they come out with a brand new hero, it costs more just because it's the new hotness. And that's how that game makes money.
Oh, okay.
But that's both in in-game currency and in real-life currency.
Okay. Yeah, that was a strange thing. It was just like $10. Everyone else is $10. They're 10,000. I don't know. I just thought it was strange. Didn't matter.
Right.
I had so much money left over from the freaking artifact debacle that it didn't really affect me. But I was just like, this is strange. But yeah, have you gotten a chance to play him?
Only in the trial mode because I wasn't going to spend my 15,000 when I know there's a new Barak and Asmodan coming.
Yeah. He's stupid fun. Like, I can't believe how much I'm enjoying him.
Some people, can't listen to fingers being cracked, the sound of water bottles being unscrewed. Everyone has their weird little pet peeves. His drinking noise just irks me.
You have an issue with, like, guttural...
That's true.
Sounds, because I remember you saying I refuse to play Sludge Belcher in my decks in Hearthstone, even though it's one of the greatest cards in the game, just because I don't want to listen to it.
Oh no, I don't refuse to. I just prefer when he dies on the first turn he's out, so I don't have to attack.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I love that. I actually had an experience today on Blackheart's Bay where. I forget what was happening. Oh, I got like caught out in the open by a Zeratul. He started just jacking me, and Ben I was playing with was playing regular, and I was like, I need help, man. I need to heal. I'm like, oh man, I'm not gonna make it. I'm like, wait, I'll just start drinking. So I just started guzzling down the freaking the D ability, which is fortifying brew, which gives you back your brew, which is his resource instead of mana. But you gain a shield while you're doing it, and you gain that shield fast. Like, it just rockets up. And it has a maximum, and I believe the maximum the shield can be, it hits that maximum way before the cast time is over. So if you're taking damage, you're just replenishing your shield. And it was ridiculous, because then Ben showed up, and then Zeratul died a miserable death.
Right, it practically works as an instant heal. The shield is what is going to be your health eventually, and then your heal over time catches up to the shield. Not exactly, but that's the idea. So you can use this at minimal health, stay alive, and end it with that amount of health. You can just stand in tower range.
Yeah.
It's good. I really like the unique mana mechanic because we don't have universal items here. You don't have to make sure that everyone has to think about maybe getting that casting item that is available for every hero, or making sure their boots are spec'd for intellect, because he's completely unique in this way. Abathur is another one that has no mana.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm really digging him, man. Wandering Keg is hysterical. His one heroic ability where he just jumps in his barrel and rolls, and when you smack your target, they knock back in whatever direction they're is to the opposite direction that you're hitting them. So I've been doing my flying kick, which kicks through them, and then I pop it and I push them into my team.
Yeah. It's
disgusting.
It needs to have, like, we need abilities in the game right now. Tychus's grenade is the same way, but to avoid those death ball complications, we've got to have heroes that can divide up the groups.
Yeah, or displace heroes. That's why Maw is so good. Maw just takes someone out of the fight. And then Chen can bring someone into it.
The flying kick is really surprising, too. It is very agile, has a good range on it, and you do not expect this fat, drunken man to come flying at you.
Yeah, and I remember reading the ability, and it says, kick through target enemy, and I'm like, okay, but then I'm looking at the radius, the range circle that comes around me when I hit Q. I'm like, well, I assumed I would only fly through them if they were far enough inside that radius circle that I could land on the other side of it. That's not the case. If you cast this on someone at maximum range, it will continue moving once you hit them and until you're behind them.
Yeah.
So you always kick through them no matter what. You can kick through walls like this, which I found out the hard way.
Oh no! Did you ended up on the other side of one?
Yeah, like the tower was really low, and I was like, I had some brew to spare, so I'm like, oh, I'll kick it, do a little bit of extra damage, and kill it. And I ended up on the other side of the wall, and the
Drink
wall
through the
wasn't.
pain, man.
The wall wasn't down yet, and I barely made it out alive. But yeah, I just drank until my kick came off cooldown, and I kicked through again. But man, yeah, that was boy, were my panda cheeks red. But yeah, fun hero. If you're like me and you're drinking the haterade on Pandarans, put it aside and play this hero. He's got a really fun kit.
It's been a while since WoW has had an update, so I think everyone's kind of taking a sip of that drink.
A little bit. If I have to see one more vaguely Asian-themed piece of architecture, I'm going to scream.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to augment your abilities, which are pretty cool. You can make it so that your damage over time on your flames eventually does its full damage instantly, and even more damage on top of that.
Which is kind of awesome.
The general slow down of the keg, the jumping in, the huge health pool, slow him down, a little bit of damage. Really, in hero terms, he's certainly not a Sonya. He's more of a Diablo in that way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Did you get to play with Storm, Earth, and Fire? Heed my call.
No.
Okay, well, it's...
lost many games, so I didn't get enough. I just today, like this morning, unlocked like all of his abilities.
Sure, and Wandering Keg seems like the team fight one you want.
Yeah. That being said, when we play our after show game, I call Chen, and I'm probably going to try out Storm, Earth, and Fire.
He's all yours.
Yeah, so check that out.
But you get two abilities with it. So you split into the 3 elements, and your ability is dive on a single place, and your second ability is spread out. So you're actually using all 3 with a single button press, and you automatically map all 3 to your one hero button. You click one guy, they all 3 start attacking that one guy. 2 of them are melee. You got the fire dude with the swords. You got the rock guy sporting a giant rock he slaps people with. And then Storm is shooting lightning bolts from afar. So you can dive in and then immediately spread out. And your level 20 ability is actually that whenever you do use an ability, you summon one of those random elementals for 5 seconds.
That's kind of badass.
Yeah, like not even active. You don't even click the ability. Just whenever you use it, it has a 9-second cooldown, so you're sporting 4 seconds in there where you're not being assisted by a auto-target computer. But it's a cool way to tweak it.
Sweet. Well, that's badass. Also, his master skin looks awesome.
Now, this game is called Heroes of the Storm, so we know they've got some issues naming things. Sadly, it's not his master skin. It's just called the Brew Master skin.
Oh. So it's a skin you have to buy.
Yeah.
Okay. War Master.
Okay, War Master. It is sweet, though. Got a big old maw on your belly.
Horrifying panda face for your entire chest, belly, crotch armor.
Always got your hat up. You're looking pretty badass, though. Let me say, as a man who enjoys playing free-to-play games completely free, you will be my primary target if you are wearing the skin today. Or really for the next 2 weeks, because you are dubbing yourself Mr. Moneybags and deserve to be killed.
Fair enough. No. Speaking of master skins, decent amount of heroes now have them. Zeratul, Tyrael, Tychus, Raynor, Nova, and Brightwing all now have master skins. Are there pictures of them in this link, or is it all just video? Trying to see. Oh, no, they're kind of picture, but they're all videos. Oh, Tychus's looks cool. He's got, like, flames on his minigun. Oh,
Heroes Nexus is probably the best place to break these down.
Gotcha.
By pictures, but yeah, really, Nova takes the cake here. The laser ponytail, the face shield. It's funny that they just added facial animations for Nova, and then her master skin puts a face shield up in front of it. But still, it looks sweet.
Yeah.
Brightwing
is a
has been
laser
getting
ponytail.
some
Holy
serious
crap.
hate this week, though.
Brightwing?
Yeah, like people are mad about the butterfly wings.
Oh my god, that's a terrible. Oh wow, it's because it's bad.
It's a little clownish, and we expect our master skins to be that next upgrade in badassery. Plus, there is some issues with the wings clipping through the horns, so it's not quite up to par of what we expect.
Oh my god, I hate everything about this skin and what it stands for.
Tyrael's looking great. He looks like he punched Imperius in the face and took the crown.
Oh yeah, I like Tyrael. Everyone looks great except for Brightwing.
Yeah.
Raynor looks dope as hell. He's got a freaking eye patch. Oh my god.
Yeah, space eye patch looking pretty sweet. In fact, they did a lot of voice augmentations too this week on the hero. So if your skin now has a helmet on, you have an echo effect. Or normal Tyrael to demon Tyrael now has a demonish sound to him.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Sadly, there has not been Arthas lines for helmetless Arthas yet. He still sounds like the Lich King wherever he goes.
Yeah. How did the word Cobra Commander not come to mind when you were trying to describe Nova?
Oh, man, you're right. I didn't even think of that.
I'm looking at the close-up now, and it's just, well, that's so Cobra Commander. Love it.
I'm so thrown off by the laser ponytail that I didn't even consider Cobra.
We also know that we're definitely getting some Heroes of the Storm swag or digital swag at BlizzCon, thanks to the virtual ticket being announced and available for purchase, because there will be a digital gift for Heroes of the Storm. So.
Yep, and we're also going to have the Heroes of the Storm exhibition match there, which
we already knew that, though.
Yeah, we knew about it, but again, they said there was going to be a very special match in the past. And now with some of the esports games going on and some independent tournaments getting running, people were getting excited. And this is most likely going to be more showing off the games, maybe some devs versus personalities. But certainly...
Sorry, it's completely off topic. Chris Hardwick's hosting it this year? I'm so jacked about that. I didn't know that.
Wait, who?
Chris Hardwick. The Nerdist dude. Runs one of the largest podcasting empires in the world, and he hosts Talking Dead and At Midnight on Comedy Central.
Oh, well, I don't have cable, so that would be...
You listen to the podcast, though. You should be listening to the Nerdist.
You have made me listen to it before.
Okay,
yes, so.
That guy. He's hosting it instead of Jay Moore. Okay. I'm excited about that. I'm a big Chris Hardwick fan.
Is he hosting everything? Is Jay Moore... Yeah, he's doing the contests now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, isn't that fresh? I mean, I got nothing against Jay Moore. He seemed like a nice guy, but it was getting a little stale.
Well, you don't like hearing his Christopher Walken impression every year.
Christopher Walken hasn't been in things for a bit. What was that last movie like? Were 13 Assassins or something? No one saw that.
Oh, he wasn't that. I don't think that's what the movie was called, but I know what you're talking about. No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I had the chick from Wayne's World. That's, I remember being on the Chicago train going, oh, hey, it's the chick from Wayne's World. Cool.
Nice. I'm getting excited for BlizzCon, man. It's going to be a good year.
Yeah. It's going to be sweet.
Yep. And then you wanted to just make mention of some cool guides that people could go check out.
Right. So Heroes Fire is a website for Heroes builds, but this past week they seem to have really upped their game, and they're doing some pretty cool things with descriptions when you make your own build. The thing that really impressed me here was that you can build a threat bar that allows you to place heroes across it and give descriptions of why you think various builds will do well against certain heroes. So in this example made by Shamatu Diablo build, it's very good against ETC, Vala, Nazebo, and Nova, whereas it does not so well against Brightwing.
I really like the idea of this because, as a Hearthstone fan, one of the big staples of Hearthstone fan sites like, Hearthhead and Hearthpwn, it's user-submitted deck lists, and this is kind of the Heroes version of that.
Well, and they found a visual way to represent it, and those deck lists, they drive me nuts because there's a wall of text. And one of the most important things that you can learn when learning one of those deck lists is what you should try to mulligan for. but it's hidden in just this huge pile of words.
Oh, and that's even if whoever submitted it decided to even write a guide in the first place.
Right.
A lot of times they're just deck lists and nothing more.
Or there might be some card you deem useless, and it's not justified somewhere in the text there, so you trade it out, and it could be an important part of the build. So I feel like this is a really great way to break it down, and it's very visual, has lots of pictures, which anybody likes. So
Yeah.
Heroes Fire recently up in their game, so
Cool.
you should check that out for the various builds there.
Sweet. I'll keep an eye on that. Well, before we move into strategies, I just want to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/ITN. Probably heard us mentioning the after show a couple times this week, and that's something we started doing when we launched the Patreon, and we bring in whatever patrons happen to be hanging out in the chat room during the live show to play the game with us to fill out our 5-man team. And we're currently up to 27 patrons pledging over $300 a month to help support Into the Nexus and help us make this show. And guys, you're all supreme, wonderful, overlording badasses of badassery. And I just want you to know that we really appreciate it. And it's still weirding me out. But our
Not the words I'd choose. I'd say it's still flattering me, perhaps.
There you go.
Thank you for supporting this show, and we hope to be doing it long into the future. This game has a great life to it, and you're going to help that continue.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next goal is less than $200 away. At $500 per month, we're going to be doing after show games every week. So we'll let you know when we hit that goal. And again, thanks to our patrons. Now let's talk.
Basically, I mean, that is a week commitment. We're basically doubling our time that we're doing for the show each week. So I look forward to it.
Huzzah! Let's talk some strategies.
Choose a talent.
Choose a talent.
Talent? Ah, that seems generous.
I have a PhD in PvP.
It's not generous, you jerk. I'm talented.
Well, the Raven Lord is a bit of a jackass.
He is. He's a jerk.
I mean, if you were a lord, a duke, a king, would you just leave your tributes laying out in the woods for people to fight over?
Well, apparently, if you're a lazy, omnipotent jerk.
Yeah, well, his empire is crumbling. He could use a bit of glue on some of those statues.
And both sides look like it belong to his empire, so he's just pitting people against his own structures. He's weird.
Right, battle for my amusement while I insult you in the background? What a masochist.
Oh, that's great. Anyways, so two very specific Tyrande builds are making waves this week, and you wanted to talk about those, Kyle. So take me through the land of extremely specific Tyrande builds.
Ah, yes. Well, Tyrande, we haven't talked about Tyrande yet, and at some point in the future, we'll definitely go, ability by ability with her and kind of talk about all her various ways to be played. But on Reddit this past week, user MacGuffin SC came up with an anti-Abathur build, which is absolutely brutal and just fascinating. So recently they made a change to Shadowstalk, one of her level 10 abilities, where it reveals enemy heroes as well as cloaking your allies.
Yeah, whole team gets cloaked.
At first, with the current talent gating method, this is your only choice to get. You have to get Shadowstalk. And when you're looking at Starfall as a big damage dealer area effect spell, you go, why on earth would Blizzard want me to have this spell over one that is clearly going to do a lot more damage? It's going to zone people out. And, Shadowstalk, I fell in love with this week. There's a lot of ways to escape, particularly if you have an Abathur on your team and he's riding something like the Dragon or the Terror. You can get him out of there without dying. You can continue to push to that last second when everyone pops up, when all the death timers are gone, and still walk out of there safely, steal merc camps. It's a really good ability, and I was overlooking it.
Yeah, it's good. It's one I rarely use as well, so you're not alone on that, and I've played a lot of Tyrande.
So step 1, Shadowstalk at level 10.
Done. I'm taking notes, by the way.
Step 2, get Ranger, which is the ability when you shoot off your owl, your sentinel, it deals increasing damage based on how far it goes. So you're thinking Abathur, he's way in the back of the map. Okay, excellent. So you fire off Shadowstalk and you shoot it at him, because he's most likely sitting in some goo bubble somewhere, not moving. So you hit him once. Great. You took the talent early on, though, whenever you hit a hero, you get to cast it immediately again. And guess what? In 2 hits, you can kill an Abathur.
Wow.
So over
That's
that 8-second
amazing.
period, 1, 2, dead Abathur in the back.
Oh, that's kind of terrifying.
And what's he gonna? Is he gonna dodge? Like, he's busy sitting on top of some other hero who's probably busy running away. You're too busy trying to shoot things with your little darts.
You can, I mean, if he can see himself, or even if he could see an ally, if he's on an ally, because you can see the eyeball over your head when you're being revealed, when that ability is used. So technically, if you are diligent, you could know what is happening and start strafing.
Right. If you immediately notice and you got 3 seconds time to break your symbiote, move yourself, and then not cast anything for the next couple seconds to make sure it doesn't get rewind, which is another ability where you can instantly refresh your cooldown, so you can just boom, 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 fire this thing off. You're basically killing Abathurs.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I want to try this build.
It's excellent. And the other build is, of course, for Blackheart's Bay, or really any game where there is a turn-in ability, and this comes from Mr. Scary Fun. Well, at least he was the poster of it, voicing his frustration to the YouTube audience at his inability to turn in at Blackheart's Bay because he was getting hit continually every single time with this talent that you take at, was it 4th level? That whenever you hit a hero with Sentinel, it instantly refreshes, and you know where they all are because they're all turning in. Boom, you fire. It hits all the heroes in the line with an additional level 7 talent. You hit a hero, fire again, and you can take them all down. They're never going to turn in. Not to mention the range on this would use a Starfall to zone them out. You just hide in the bush or the gas somewhere and cast that.
Yeah, I always go for a Sentinel build on any map where you need to channel something. So Cursed Hollow, I take it. The Blackheart's Bay, I take it. And Dragon Knight, I take it. Dragonshire, sorry.
Yeah, about the only one that would be Haunted Mines, is the only one where you don't have to actually wait for a load bar in order to do something. Yeah.
By the way, the talent that you're saying resets Sentinel, it doesn't necessarily reset Sentinel. It reduces all of your ability cooldowns by 4 seconds over 2 seconds. So
okay.
It's not, you're not getting rapid fire Sentinels. It doesn't work exactly how you're explaining.
Right. So I'm thinking more along the lines of the rewind ability, what we saw in the video.
Yeah,
but it certainly does speed things along.
Right, because Sentinel's on an 18-second cooldown. So yeah. You had to like all 5 characters, and you'd still have. No, that would do it. You'd have to hit the whole team.
Yep. Get 4 guys. Yeah, it'll work out. In about 2 seconds, you'll have it all refreshed for yourself.
Yeah, but rewind is that will definitely do exactly what you're talking about, and that's at level 13.
This week, I also fell in love with. There was the choice of the 2 heals at one point. Either you get to give some movement speed, or you get to give a cloak. I know in the past I gave you a hard time about taking the cloak because I always accidentally interrupt it, but that cloak is nice. And that 25% movement speed doesn't really feel like much.
No, it doesn't. The cloak saved my bacon so many times when it could be self-cast, and now it no longer applies that effect on Tyrande herself, which I hate. I hate that change. I still hate that change. But yeah, it's still good. I still really like the cloak. Interrupting someone's ability to target you is great. Especially in a world where Vala
cloaking yourself
exists.
Wherever you go is a bit much.
Right. But I mean, it only lasts, what? Forget how long it lasts. Not long.
Yeah, you got 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Okay, that is longer than I thought.
Any damage or ability will cancel it completely. It doesn't then refresh itself after the fact like Shadowstalk does.
Yeah, but say you're against we've got a Vala in the opposing team. If you're taking a Vala's basic attack targeting off of somebody who's about to die with a heal by cloaking them, even for a second, even if they can, do their cloak, whatever that frontal cone ability is, I can never remember the name of. Even if they can do, sorry, it's back on my mic again. Even if they do that and take you out of the cloak, that can be the difference between life and death against a Vala. So, I like the cloak. I am pro cloak, Tyrande.
I I was not getting into her before this week because her heal, in the grand scheme of other people's heals, seems really small.
Oh, it is, but she can cast it a lot more often, and of all of the support, she can really lay down the hurt.
Yeah, particularly with the Hunter's Mark, which increases all damage done by 25%.
Yeah, you put her in lane with someone like Tychus, and shit gets out of hand real quick.
Yeah.
And Lunar Flare is just, you get good with Lunar Flare, you're going to be an asset to your team.
Not only, I mean, for the beginning of the game, Sergeant Hammer is going to be sitting in bushes, and there was no one better to take her out this week. It was incredible. You use the Hunter's Mark, and this week it even got a range bonus. It increased the range from 7 to 12. So that gives you sight. You throw it on her, you see her in the bush, you can do the stun from the air, you know exactly where to shoot the Sentinel the whole time. Shadowstalk got a mana decrease this week. Tyranda's coming back.
Yeah.
With her 80s hair and her butt.
Her hair's not that 80s.
It's a little big.
She's a high priestess of the moon, man.
What's that got to do with her hair?
She has to have
the tide is in?
a big... Oh, done.
The hair tide.
Long live Tyrande. Let's take some emails.
Darkness stopped calling.
Hold on. Darkness just texted me.
Okay, tell him I'm not here.
Still my favorite bumper that you put together. My
good.
landslide victory. Emails, you can send them to itncast@gmail.com. Our first email today comes to us from Sean O. And he writes, I do not in all caps, want to be able to, to randomly join games in progress. What I think would be awesome is to be able to suggest a friend to join. For instance, you could just be like, hey, our Zagara left the game and Kyle just logged on. You could send an invite to Kyle to say, hey, want to come help me finish this game at Zagara so that we can join a new game together? I think that would be amazing. Honestly, I'm not sure if it is possible to implement the system, but it would be an awesome possible solution to levers. My worries are that you could disconnect from a game and someone else would just take your place. I can't wait until they get custom games back in so we can see real team comps with a certain map in mind. Also, I can't wait to just have more characters so we can have more characters for each role. I want to say thanks for the show. I'm a patron for both TAC and Into the Nexus. Well, you're a badass, sir. That's what you are. So it wasn't last week. I believe it was 2 weeks ago when we were talking about, in one of the interviews, Milker said that they were considering some type of system that would allow people to join a game that was already in progress to deal with levers. And I said, no, a million no's. No, kill it with fire, please.
I do like the idea, though, that if you had a friend on and you logged on and you saw that it said right there on the friend's name that he was in a game, a character had left, and what the character was, I'd be okay with jumping in to help him out. Particularly if I'm waiting for that friend to finish up anyway so I can get in a game with him.
Yeah, it could just be as easy as your friend's name needs a, and then like the icon or the portrait of the hero that left. And you just click on it and boom, you jump in. That'd be better.
Speaking to other game modes, this week they did add in the grayed out boxes that'll eventually be competitive play and draft mode.
Yeah. Which, by the way, the menu system's been completely overhauled again.
Right.
It's very pretty.
It's not so much that they add more options, it's also that they completely switch around where everything is.
Yep, and I'm not used to it. I accidentally initiated an AI game, and I couldn't figure out how to change my hero for like 10 minutes.
I was sitting there going, something must be bugged. I can't select Kerrigan. It's because they reset my mount colors. So I apparently had a mount selected that I didn't have, so it was graying out the hero that I already purchased for me. By the way, those horses are now buff.
Yeah,
they got some extra muscles on that.
I'm not sure if I like my new warhorse. They completely changed it, and it doesn't have like the knight skirt on it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I want the horse skirt back. It looked badass.
I like the new warhorse, but I miss the Argent Dawn warhorse.
Exactly. Not to mention the purple one looked badass on Arthas.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it did.
But thanks for your email, Sean. Mike also wrote in this week and said, ITNers, I've been listening to StarCast and ITN for over a year now. First time emailer. I saw a great use of Swift Storm being used more like a manor mule. Okay? You have my interest. Last week we asked for people to write in and sell us on the talent Swift Storm. Because I believe there's no reason to take it.
Right, your level 20 ability, you augment your already badass ultimate, or you don't get dismounted when you're hit.
And move faster on a mount.
Ooh.
So he continues. He says, Gazlo looked absolutely ridiculous, riding up and down next to our Nexus, doing nothing but taunting us as we tried to stop the onslaught of Mercs and his teammates that were destroying our Nexus. I tried a few times to engage him, but my attempts were completely impotent, as I couldn't even dismount him. He may as well have been raining mules on my hive as an endless wave of Marines destroyed everything I worked so hard to build. Keep up the great work.
That is very visual, and I feel your pain.
I salute you, Mike. Yeah, you. I may have chosen this email solely for the StarCraft reference. Maybe.
I am very happy that people in this game prefer to end things quickly. It doesn't seem to be a lot of, I just want to get to level 20 to try out my ability. No, if you see the opening, if everyone's dead for 30 seconds, the other team takes it.
Yeah, for the most part. I've had a couple where they play around. They're like, we're going to go behind and try and kill you guys.
Oh, yeah, well, let's grab all these mercs right here. And you're like, we can't even leave our base, right? Of course the mercs are yours. Come in here and end it, you 3 level ahead bastards.
And then luckily the mercs end it because they're being jerks.
Yes.
Yep.
That's rough, dude. Okay, Swiftstorm for bad manners? I don't think that's what the talent's for, but no, I won't do that. I'm not that kind of guy. It is tempting. I did think about it for about half a second there.
Nice. Well, again, if you want to send in an email to ITN, send them to itncast@gmail.com. And that'll more or less do it for this week's episode. Before we go, wanted to thank the following patrons for supporting the show over at patreon.com/ITN. I wanted to thank Unexpected Answers, Declan H., who's also the producer credit on the show, Richard P., Adam M., and Daniel H. Thank you guys very much for supporting the show. Also, if you're an iTunes listener and you have not left us a review in the iTunes store, we would really appreciate it if you did so, because we have no new reviews this week to thank. So get in there, start dropping reviews. We'd appreciate it. Only if you like the show. If you don't like the show, feel free to, not do that.
Yeah, sure. You can keep your opinion to yourself in those cases.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you want to leave like one of those long rants about how we're not pro enough to talk about this, which is fine. Like, leave that, because then people who are going to yell at us in our chat live won't be here to do that, and I'm perfectly okay weeding them out.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to see the VOD of our after shows, you can become a patron. You can donate you can back us for $1 a month. You can back us for $100 a month. All patrons get VOD access. So go check that out. You also get to send us your battle tag. We'll add you in with all the other patrons, and we can bring you in for the after show game and play some games with us and get in the recorded game every month. So go check that out. Into the Nexus is a production of amove.tv. It's produced by amove.tv and Declan H. Thank you very much to that patron. You can see more about this and all of the other amove shows at amove.tv. Our email, once again, is itncast@gmail.com. You can catch us live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/amovetv. If you don't follow the Twitch channel, do so. We got Kyle's wife, Kristen, just poning some noobs before the show every week on the Twitch channel. We've got The Angry Chicken recorded live every Monday. Before that, we have AMove Radio, where Kyle and I talk about whatever the hell we feel like. And, of course, we got this show every Thursday night. So go follow the Twitch channel. And follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/StarcastShow, because I can't change the address of my YouTube channel, so it will for always be Starcast Show, even though we host many shows there and are no longer doing that specific show. So go follow that.
Hopefully one day there will be that special Starcast episode where we get to talk about Legacy of the Void.
That would be nice. I'm not holding my breath, because if I had started a while ago, I'd be dead now. But
we would, yeah, and I think you would definitely die over the course of this year's BlizzCon. Sorry to say.
Really? You don't think we're going to see anything about Legacy at BlizzCon?
How about a nice machinima? No? Okay.
A machinima? You're thinking that's the only StarCraft content we're going to see?
The Arthas Illidan battle?
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't want that.
No,
No.
nobody wants that.
No. Follow us on Twitter at ITNcast. I check Twitter all the time. So does Kyle. So if you want to get at us, yell something at us, ITNcast on Twitter is the place to do it. Thanks to Brian Griffith. He is the musician responsible for our intro music over at briangriffithmusic.com. For me personally, I'm on Twitter at Garrett Art. I read it obsessively. You can check out my graphic design portfolio over at nomoonart.com. I've got all the stuff for Lost Legacy, a card game which you can go buy right now. It's up on my portfolio now because I can finally say that I worked on it because it's out. So that's cool. So go check that out. And listen to The Angry Chicken, a Hearthstone podcast every Monday night. Kyle, where can people find you when you're not talking about Heroes of the Storm?
Well, I'm probably talking about Heroes of the Storm anyway, but over at Twitter, you can find me at Kyle Ferguson. You can find me on at A Move Radio, like we spoke about earlier. That was a fun episode this past week. And you can find me at kyleferguson.com.
Go check it out. Wonderful, fine voice acting. I mean, listen to those sultry tones. They're wonderful. And just because we aren't running the ads at the top of the show, thanks to our patrons, doesn't make these codes any less awesome. Go to doghousesystems.com, use the code ITN, and you will get double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig, free of charge, and support the show in the process. That same code ITN gets you 30% off and free shipping off of your entire order of noise-reducing earbuds from tweakedaudio.com, which I've been using my earbuds as my PlayStation headset because the one that came with this system it hurts my ear. It's terrible.
Oh, is it an actual in-your-ears model?
Yeah, it's just like the little one earbud thing because you only need the one to talk to people. Very similar to the Xbox like 360 one, but it's not as comfy. So my tweaked ones have like the little microphone on there for cell phones.
Oh,
and
right.
It works with the PlayStation. I couldn't believe it.
Plus, the cords are long enough since it plugs right into your controller. You could freaking do a cat's cradle while you wait on load screens.
That's funny. Yeah, that's the case too. So go check them out. We thank them for their codes and their support. We thank you guys for listening, and we will see you all next week for episode 21 of Into the Nexus. Good luck and have fun.
Take care.